Hey guys, Sifu here from the Xtreme Training Academy. I'm here with my good friend and Brazilian Jiu Jitsu coach, Alex Embry, from Alpha Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Congratulations on the new shop.
Thank you very much.
Some of my guys at the studio had some questions as far as Jiu Jitsu goes, especially in the self-defense realm. Okay, so I was hoping that you can answer some of these questions. I mean, I give them my answer, but it's not always the in-depth answer that I get from you. You know what I mean? First question that we had was, how do you deal with somebody who's got that sheer athleticism? You know, the guy who flips and rolls and spins, and it's usually lighter guys. They're really hard to contain. You know, and obviously we're talking in a configuration where we might be on our back and they're on top. I'll turn it over.
First of all, like, you're highly athletic, you're highly mobile people, very difficult to deal with. That's why it's such a popular form of jiu-jitsu, especially for lighter athletes. Very difficult to deal with, especially when they're younger, you're older. There's a lot of factors that go into this. So to deal with that person, we're really looking at a handful of things that are going to solve that problem. Proper technique is the start of everything, because I need to be able to lock down a position that's executed correctly, that's going to slow that game down so I can play my game. What I find, especially as I get older and the 20-year-olds don't, I cannot keep up with them physically. I can't track that game like I used to be able to. That's a great game when you're 20. It's harder when you're 40, or it's harder when you've worked a shift all day. Maybe you're younger, but you've worked a shift all day and you get jumped going home. There's so many environmental factors that come into play. You have to think about these things and what physically can you do at the time that you're asked to do it. The one thing that's not going to desert you is proper technique in your positions. Finding those positions, finding the clean transitions, and the ability to execute them properly. That brings in that positional dominance that we talk about all the time at Warriors Weekend. If I can get that position, if I can maintain that position, and I can protect myself first and foremost while I do so, I slow that game down. If I try and keep up with that guy who's spinning, jumping, really bringing that fast athletic game, he will win every time. Because if he's playing that game, typically he plays it well and he's going to outpace me at his game. I need to stop that game. I need to isolate a limb, lock in a position with the proper technique, and then I need to be able to maintain that position to dominate that fight. So when you come to that high athletic guy, slowing him down to your pace, definitely the way to go.
So is it fair to say that that positional dominance is not just something that we talk about from the top game? It's just equally as good or equally as applicable from the bottom?
Almost more applicable from the bottom when you talk about protecting yourself. When we talk about positional dominance from the top, we're talking about maintaining what I've got and not giving up any of that ground. When we talk about positional dominance from the bottom, we're talking about keeping ourselves safe. And from that ambush, from that assault, that's a critical element. So I have to be able to start working my way up that ladder, and I have to do it safely. So it becomes a huge element from the bottom that we have to take into account. And it's all about position, it's all about structure, and both of those come from proper technique.
Awesome.
So that's really what you're doing to lock down that athleticism.
And in the first part of your answer, you said, you know, we lock down on the limb, we lock down on the core, that kind of thing. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going for like a submission per se, right? That might just be something that you're containing to limit mobility.
Hardly ever, yes, exactly. Hardly ever am I looking for a submission out of that spin. I'm not saying that'll never happen. In the world of sport jiu-jitsu, it happens constantly, but we're talking about a self-defense element here. I'm looking to stop motion. And isolation of a limb isn't just about, or a core or hips or whatever the case is. It's not just about setting up a submission. That isolation is all about maintaining control and gaining control. And in this case, I'm gaining control. I get the guy that likes to bounce around, try and pass my guard. I don't like to try and meet that with an open guard. I try and like to lock down a half guard and do it correctly so I can stop that motion. And then once I get that position, I'm not looking to submit with that. I'm looking to maintain position, stop his motion, contain his athleticism. Now I get to bring my attributes into play.
Awesome. And somebody wants to get in touch with you, which I highly recommend that you guys get in touch with Alex. I mean, I come to him for my personal development on the jiu-jitsu side of JKD, let's just say. I will tell you that I'm very picky about my instructor, so you know, I wholeheartedly trust Alex and the things that he's teaching me. Somebody wants to find you.
Right now, the easiest way to get a hold of us mid-transition is our Facebook page. Alpha BJJ is where we're at on Facebook. We have a coming soon website up that ought to be going live here in the next 2 to 3 weeks. www.alphajujitsu.com. And either one of those ways, you're going to be able to track me or track one of us down.
Okay, and I'll make sure that I put the links on the download for you guys so you guys be able to follow up. All right, guys, Sifu Nick. I'm here with Alex Embry. Hopefully that answers the question.
See you guys.